top of the table clashes, comebacks, controversy, and a goal of the season contender.
Evening, Tate.
Evening, Jack, you right?
Yes, how are you?
Not too bad. I've had better Monday mornings.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking in the
I mean, I
afternoon.
can see and you told me what's happened, but yeah, you've had some help today, hopefully for your knee. But yeah, you're hobbling around.
Yeah, a bit of a episode, as you call it, this morning. Those will know that I've suffered with my knee since the marathon training. Went for which I thought was a consultation for my knee. Ended up having the steroid injection and fluid taken out, which I haven't had for about 10 years, on an empty stomach, and passed out. Passed out, and then woke up in like a shortness of breath fit and was like, where am I? Where the hell am I? And there's like 8 nurses around me.
God.
And yeah, it was a bit of an episode. But
Yeah,
okay, I was pretty groggy for all day, but
Hopefully you get better.
yeah,
Hope you're on
I
the mend.
Hopefully, yeah. I've been given 98 days worth of tablets
Lovely.
to take. So yeah, that'll be fun. What about yourself?
Yeah, all good. Well, yeah, no, it was alright. Fine weekend.
Nice
Didn't really
weekend.
do much, but
Did you go to the game yesterday?
I did, yeah. Went to Spurs. Yeah, it's just weather's drawing in, isn't it? It's dark, cold, wet. Yeah.
But at least football's back.
Yes, that was. It
And
was
it's
good.
not-
Although Spurs lost, it was nice to have a full set of fixtures across Football League and all the rest of it instead of international football. Yeah, it was very nice.
But let's crack on with the podcast today. And this evening we'll dissect some of the games, mainly talking about the big title top of the table clash was City Liverpool, moving on to Chelsea Newcastle, and then finishing off Everton Man United. Bit about the games, bit about the teams, and a bit of everything really. But let's start with the teaser. And with Newcastle hosting Manchester United on Saturday night, can you name 6 players to have played for both teams in the Premier League?
Oh, bloody hell. I'm going to say no, but I'll give it a go. Yeah.
Right. Shall we start 12:30 game?
Yeah, I think so. Start with 12:30 on the Saturday.
As
City,
Klopp
Liverpool.
moaned about a couple of weeks ago that he didn't want the game at 12:30 because of the rest.
Yeah.
And a few people have said after that maybe that led to a bit of a lackluster game. I actually thought it was quite a good game.
I thought it was all right. It definitely wasn't. I know recently there's been Tottenham Chelsea and Chelsea City and other games, but it was all right. It's teed up to be like the blockbuster game of the year now, with obviously the recent success of City and obviously Liverpool and Klopp versus Pep, and it's built up to be that sort of English El Clasico of late. But yeah, it definitely wasn't. It wasn't a terrible game, but yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't an exciting thriller. But yeah, I mean, I don't sort of jump ahead, but yeah, I think in saying that they're probably both quite happy with the result. Really, or maybe City less happy, but yeah, I think they're when inevitably when it's a draw, you're a bit like, oh, I'm in an R in, but ultimately it's a draw. It's a fair result, isn't it? So
I mean, I think for it to be a open and wild game is like suicide for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like they have to, the way you have to beat them, especially at the Etihad, where 23 wins on the trot.
Yeah, and I think Klopp even said it, but they've tried it before, haven't they? They've done all sorts to try and beat them, and I think, yeah, like you said, an open game is probably the worst way to go about it against them.
And it was quite an even game, to be honest, throughout. I don't think
I'd say it was
either team
even
really.
Start, and yeah.
City had probably had the more chances, but I think Liverpool presented them. Liverpool presented Man City with the chances.
Yeah.
Alisson early on, poor kick, went straight to Foden. The goal came from an awful drop kick that Ake picked up and did a little bit of nice skill, played through Haaland. Maybe you point your finger at the keeper again on the save. But
yeah, I thought it finished quite. It was more the defending. Yeah, Alisson's obviously lobbed up, sliced his clearance or sliced the drop kick, and yeah, Ake just waltzed through Szoboszlai and Trent, and yeah, just I said before the game, I said Trent versus Doku, and you saw that, and yeah, Ake was the one that went round him and played in Haaland, but yeah, Trent's defending is just shambolic, but obviously the other side of his game probably outweighs it more than enough to warrant him playing for Liverpool and England and all the rest of it. But yeah, I just thought that Haaland's goal is what Núñez can't do, and they said it in commentary because Núñez had that opportunity where he got played in and he couldn't get his feet, he muddled his feet up and lost the ball, and then a few minutes later Haaland 2-touch, then his third was a goal, and shows the difference. And I just I just think Liverpool are that striker they are lacking in that position. And Núñez is a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not world class. He's not a quality top level striker, I don't think, anyway, for what Liverpool want to do and win the league. Like, even Spurs have Son, Arsenal have Jesus. Alright, Jesus doesn't score lots of goals, but he's a far better player. I don't know. I'd even have the likes of Watkins over the Núñez, but yeah, there we go.
I mean, their goals normally come from Salah. That comes from the wingers, and they typically, for Liverpool's best years under Klopp, has been goals from wide, Mane and Salah, and Firmino's chipped in when he can. But Núñez, like you said, strikes me as a player who should score 25, 30 goals. That's what he's in. He's not a false nine.
No,
he's not
exactly,
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's not.
Creative,
he is the number 9 who runs in behind.
He's a striker, and yeah, he's alright. It's his first real season and first moment, and sort of developing and playing more and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, he's 24 years old and Haaland's 23, and yes, Haaland's an incredible player, but it's not. I'm not having this like Núñez raw chat like this. That's a load of rubbish. He's got to deliver, and I think he just lacks that composure. But there we go.
But like touched on, the Man City striker became the fastest man to score 50 Premier League goals with the opener on Saturday. And he's not only just broken the record, he's absolutely shattered it, taking just 48 games to reach the milestone. I think the next one was Andy Cole.
Yes.
68, something like that.
Yes, 60, something like that, 66.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
48
Cole
games.
says he didn't score any penalties, so Haaland scored, I think, might be 10 or something, 12 penalties, something. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Take penalties then.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I think. Just take them. But yeah, Haaland's absolutely obliterated that.
And like we said, it was a pretty even game. The second half started off slow, and there was a moment in that second half where old Pep got a bit funny with the home fans, with the lack of atmosphere in the ground. I don't really buy the 12:30 argument because it depends. The atmosphere depends on who the game's and how the game's going as well. If Arsenal versus Spurs at 12:30,
you're buzzing for it.
It's not going to be quiet. It's just not.
No.
But Liverpool, as we said, Liverpool versus Man City isn't a rivalry of longevity. It's a rivalry of like excellence.
Yeah,
they're
currently,
rivals because they're the best two teams.
Yeah, exactly that. They've currently been the best two teams, and that's why they match it up. But yeah, there's no hate between Klopp and Pep or the players or the fans. And it's just you're right. And yeah, Man City, their home fans are just not.
I mean, Arsenal versus Spurs this year was a 1:30 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
There's plenty enough atmosphere there.
But Man City have won 23 home games. The home fans don't need to clap, sing, shout, scream. Like they've seen 23 wins doing exactly what they're doing, so they're not going to suddenly turn up on a Saturday and change. And
when you do win, like I said, game after game after game, you're sitting there with expectation. And I've even sensed it a little bit this season at the Emirates. When you're playing the likes of Sheffield United, I know this is different because they're playing Liverpool. Yeah. But when you're playing Sheffield United, you're playing your Burnleys at home. You're sitting there waiting to be entertained. Like you're waiting for the goal. You just
exactly that.
You're so ready for a goal, and we should win this 5-0 today, that you don't bother.
No, it's just a matter of when. It's not how or if. It's just when is Saka going to score? When is Haaland going to score his hat-trick?
And City have got used to that, which maybe a bit of complacency in there. Moving on to, I think, really the only talking point, controversial bit of the game was, I can't remember what minute was the cross, was Diaz's disallowed goal, which I know you, for one, are very against the protection goalkeepers get.
Yeah.
And that is an absolute shambles.
It's almost me being contradicting myself, but it's one of those that the ref, they always give and they always have give, but surely that just can't be a foul. And they actually looked at it and all the rest of it. It's just ridiculous. There was no Alisson, the goalie. It's just poor. It's just poor goalkeeping. He's a huge goalkeeper, a brilliant goalkeeper. He's able to use hands, jump up, put his legs in a way, put his body in there, and he should just be able to catch the ball, no problem at all. And Akanji's barely put any
Barely.
pressure on him.
That's a foul. I know, like, it's different because it's the goalkeeper, but yeah, we've talked about fouls in other games. Not
It
going
just
into any one
doesn't affect
specific game, but there's been fouls that have had two hands to the
Yeah.
back of the neck and
Yeah.
wasn't given.
No, that is ridiculous,
But,
and
yeah.
it's just you can see it because Liverpool players immediately were calling for the foul, but it's just not. It just wasn't a
And
foul.
arguably, that's the game there, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the 3 points.
Yeah.
And I saw old Dermot Gallagher today saying it was a foul.
Oh my god! I don't even. I can't watch it anymore. I can't do it.
Again, which is another just annoying thing, is if he'd given it,
Hmm.
VAR aren't overturning that.
No,
They're not.
no.
But because he blows up literally as it goes in, it's just like... And I think Neville said it on commentary, because I could be in trouble here. Like, he might give this. I was thinking he actually has to give this, because you cannot give that as a foul.
No, and the fact is, like you said, if you watch it again through VAR and they see it and they actually slow it down, it looks even less of a foul. Like it's just nothing. It just shows you in clear and obvious error and all the rest of all that rubbish they use. And surely that is a decision they go, right, that can't be a foul, that's a goal. And they
just to
do
switch
give
it completely on its head, what Akanji did to Alisson was a foul. But what Onana did to the Wolves player,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's
you
not
just
a
go
foul.
back. Yeah, you go back to the.
That's what goalkeepers can dish out, but receive.
Yeah, and they basically they're untouchable. They can do what they like, and then if anything happens to them, it's immediate foul. But it was just poor.
Weirdly enough, there was a lot of debate on the goalkeepers. Like for Brazil, who's the better goalkeeper, Alisson, Ederson? And I do think Alisson's by far the better goalkeeper and the best goalkeeper in the league and probably in the world. But I don't think I've ever seen him have as a bad game.
No, not so many errors in we had, like you said, in 190 minutes. So
and even at the end, when he did his leg.
Don't ever notice Alisson at all. You just think, what a save! Alisson's there, what a save, or what a pass. And you're right, against City, he had a bit of a stinker. But then I thought Ederson was really good. I thought, and for maybe Man City's goalkeeper, it's almost hard to say that because he almost never involved. But then I thought, he made some good saves. His distributions, some of his passes in the second half,
pass into midfield
through the middle was ridiculous. Like
that nearly led to the goal, didn't it?
Yeah, had a slight left to right on it, and it just bent round. Yeah, it was like you think, he does that all the time. But when you actually see it against Liverpool in that moment, like bloody hell.
And they had the camera in there behind the goal, and you could see it.
He just singed it.
I don't know who the City Liverpool midfielder was, who it just literally evaded him perfectly.
It was a mad ball, but I did think he was good, and that's just one little takeaway. But it was a pretty, like you said, it was an even game when it throughout until, not until, but even. Liverpool throughout had chances, didn't they? It weren't as if they were just backs against the wall and breaking away.
I think a good change he made was take Jota off. I know Jota came off injured, but Jota had to come off for Diaz. And I was saying to my dad, because it was Jota, I think Jota's a really good player, and he was up against Walker. No one gets any change at Walker. Unless you're literally, even if you've got blistering pace like Mbappe and Vinicius, you still find it hard.
Yeah.
So he was like having it. Every time he tried to get past him, it was like, just put on the burners, he got it. Diaz gave him a little bit more problem. I think he played quite well, Diaz, when he came on. He pushed Walker further back and stopped him getting as far.
Maybe that's the thing with Walker. He loves a challenge, and when he against Vinicius, he almost welcomes it. Mbappe, he loves a foot race, but Jota was trying that, and he's just nowhere near, not even near the pace of Diaz. So Walker's just eating him up. But maybe Diaz coming on, like you said, stretched the game, and Walker still might have got the better hand, but it made it more of a 1v1.
And the goal actually came the equaliser. I think it was Doku down the left, put a ball in, and Haaland had a shot. I think it came off Matip and hit Alisson, and somehow came out to the left. I think Chimikas worked it out the pitch, and then it came to Diaz. I think it came across, and then Salah laid it off, and then Trent one touch, bang, great finish, wasn't it? You see it from around the goal. It just pops up a little bit, and he's like
hits it. Yeah, it was good. It was almost it was the ball across. I think the box was sort of like it killed the move, and Salah got it and just laid back Trent, and like you said, it opened up. I think Gakpo might have ran forward, opened up the space, and just touch, and Trent smashed it in.
And they went and shushed. Good celebration, wasn't it?
Yeah, loads of shushing going on.
Shush the crowd.
Yeah, but then that's what I was saying. He's defensively, he is just nowhere near it. If he was just a right back, he would not be in the Prem. But on the ball and attacking wise, he's brilliant. Yeah.
And then City nearly won it at the end for corner.
A little header, wasn't it?
Haaland. But I was not walking away from the game, didn't go to the game. I was watching the game, and after my thoughts, I was thinking Liverpool played. I was really impressed with Liverpool. I thought they look a solid, really solid, well worked team. Considering Salah had quite a quiet game, I just thought that's the toughest place to go.
Yeah.
Considering I would say they arguably gave them the first goal because it's just poor defending from the goalkeeper. They looked always in control. They always looked like they had a fighting chance. They always kept them.
Have we have a look? They lost once, haven't they?
Liverpool, yeah, they lost.
But that's what I'm saying. So that game was
that was marred with controversy, to say the least.
So really, they could be. They're still one of the. They are, if not the best team. Yeah, they're technically unbeaten. Like, that game was a total mess against the Spurs, but yeah, we won. Great. But yeah, I think Klopp even said that was a test at the weekend, and yeah, he said they were. He said, I think we passed the test today. So yeah,
they're definitely up there in that title challenge.
Without doubt, yeah. 100%. And I mean, you said Etihad's obviously very difficult, but as a Spurs fan, I'd say going to Anfield I'd fear that more than most.
We've got them on the 23rd, and I'm sort of dreading that.
Did you see Alisson? I don't know if that's true about his injury. He could be out for a few weeks, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I don't know how reliable that source was, but if he is, and that's a massive. And then they have to put Keller in goal.
Because that is, again, the drop-off but from Alisson to anyone is going to be rough. But yeah, it could be quite interesting. But yeah, they're definitely...
But Arteta's the only one who gets moaned at for having two good goalkeepers.
No.
That's stupid. But no, if it's a massive drop-off.
Yeah, huge.
But we shall see what comes from that. Should we move on to the Chelsea game?
Yeah.
Before the game, I thought Newcastle were going to win this.
I didn't really know. Again, going about Super 6, but we do the scores and all the rest of it, and the fixtures from the weekend. Just, I think it was probably the first week that anything could have happened. They were all maybe a couple of games they were 60-40. Maybe the Arsenal game they were a bit higher before the start of it. All the rest of it, but yeah, I just thought I had no clue, to be honest. I didn't know what would happen.
I just think Chelsea are the most inconsistent. Sort of consistent team. They're consistently inconsistent, like all the time. They're just all over the place, man. I couldn't Bashil players today, or who's the other disaster players, or Reece James turns up instead of doing some cryptic Instagram posts. He decides to play to them.
That with Chelsea, captain, I said it when it happened, but against us, they were awful. They were awful against us, and they got up for Arsenal at home. They got up for City at home, but then before that, everyone was going mad about how bad they were, and then obviously they got slapped at Newcastle. And the second half, they were dreadful. They were awful, absolutely awful. Awful.
Newcastle took the lead with a Alexander Isak goal. I think his first start from injury in a couple of games. I need to get him back on the fantasy team now. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Although I have replaced him with Watkins, so Watkins doing all right.
Yeah, got his goal.
But no, it was a lovely little pass from Miley, the 17-year-old, making his first start at St James's Park, local Geordie lad. But Sterling continued his good form, and he was free when he got brought down by Trippier. Yeah, whipped it in the top corner. Don't get me wrong, very good free kick, but Paul Merson made it sound like it was the second coming of Ronaldo versus Portsmouth while having a sandwich hanging at his mouth.
Yeah, what a mess. I don't know if you got him later on, but Merson, what a mess that bloke is. That whole Gillette Soccer Saturday was awful.
He's gone off the rails a bit this year. Like, he's just gone pure like Chelsea. Like, I always knew he was a Chelsea fan, but he never really let it slip like massively.
I would never even have said that until this season. Because obviously he played for Arsenal. Maybe he's just biased towards Arsenal, and maybe I thought I just must support Arsenal. But yeah, you're right. And this year he's just gone like head off the rails.
Non-stop eating, as a sandwich, a protein bar. Normally they do it off air, but he was just eating it on air and eating and talking. Like, what is going on?
And he had probably one of the bigger games at that time, Newcastle Chelsea. Yeah, you're right.
But no, great free kicker, and Sterling obviously continues his good form. But 1-1 second half. The game was. Reading some of the articles and listening to Match Today, they said it went to a bit of a stale first 10-15 minutes. And it wasn't until Lascelles, it was from a corner that got worked out, and the cross came back in, and Lascelles got free header, thumps it in. On his own, wasn't he?
No one near him.
Bangs it in, 2-1, and it was his first Premier League goal for 2 years. And then Match Day actually showed it from kickoff. And I think it was like 60 seconds.
Yeah, it was like 51 minutes, but it could have been
59 seconds, something like that. Chelsea are playing it around. Cole Palmer back to Thiago Silva, who just has a complete
he just
brain fart.
You can just see it, can't you? When you watch it, he looks to pass it and he sees all these Newcastle players like, oh shit, and then it's obviously gets a touch.
Joe Linton gets in, and you hear the sound going, go on, and then because he just literally walks it, runs in 6
so close. I did think that. I watched the replay this morning. He like you said, he just drills so close and just smashes.
It reminds me of like a goal you'd score in 5-a-side, where your defenders give it away, and like the goalkeeper's like, just a fat bloke from the pub. He doesn't really want to go and goal, and he's just like, I'm getting out of the way of this.
And you just absolutely nail it.
Yeah, for literally no reason, nails it in. 3-1, game over. Reece James has earlier been booked for a pathetic little kick the ball away.
Yeah. Second yellow after.
And then Gordon got through. Gordon's on some form at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing all right, isn't he? Very good player at the minute.
Stretches all defences, and they've been doing this tactic with Wilson and Isaac. Once one of them got tired or if one of them's injured, they come off early on, and then Gordon seems to end all the games as the number 9. Maybe he's got that extra bit of pace to stretch the defence, but he stretched Reece James, and Reece James just that was one of them challenges. Would say it was a challenge, pullbacks, where I think he's just given up.
Yeah, totally.
He doesn't want to be on the pitch anymore. He's lost his head. See you later. And he knows when he's been sent off, he's like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he was just and the captain as well, just sloppy, wasn't it? Sloppy, poor performance, and that summed up their second half. Really, they would, that bit of play was just.
Well, that sums up Chelsea in a nutshell. That was my captain doing that. I'd be especially someone who hasn't played, like barely played because of injury and that. He's just given up, and he just there's no fight, and they're just a weird club. Like, how can you get behind any of these players that you don't know? And
if I became in trouble,
even like again, like Enzo, he's won. He's played 30 games in the Premier League. He's won 4.
Did he play the weekend?
Yeah.
So there's £100 million.
And then they had the Villa bloke. They had the Villa bloke as well, the one with the long name.
Yeah, Chuko.
Whatever his name is. If I think what's his name? Casado's on the bench. But
but then that has been Chelsea this season, and
Cole Palmer doesn't get a penalty, just doesn't score.
He didn't have any
sniff, did
involvement or something. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. No, they were just poor.
Gordon ended it off. Even Gordon's goal, bloody hell, that is soft. Like just little 1-2 gets through, lovely slot finish, and Chelsea just didn't want to be there.
Yeah, it was done with it. As soon as that third goal rolled in, it was, and the way it happened, Thiago Silva there, although he's not the captain, the leader, the veteran, and then when he's made a mistake like that, it's time to go.
That was Newcastle's 5th straight home win, and that moves them within 3 points of Spurs, while Chelsea stay in 10th, I think.
They're 7 clear of Chelsea now.
16 points.
And if you look at it, Chelsea are on a high. Everyone's going mad about how good there are, a couple of good results. And now you look at the last 2 games from the other side, they've conceded 8 goals in 2 games. And
I thought that,
Yeah, and before the break, yes, it's a brilliant result against City, but then, to go to Newcastle and concede 4 again, it's, Pochettino's probably scratching his head, but, they were just poor, weren't they? Poor.
And arguably, they haven't got, that back 4 is, I know Cucurella is not Chilwell, but still, it's a £70 million fullback you got there.
Yeah, they would have spent £1 billion, haven't they?
I just think there's Poch being in the stands as well. The whole thing just stunk. I just think there was. I don't know, Chelsea just a weird club, mate. I'm glad I don't support them. It's just
that's all I say. I'm glad I don't support them. That's my final comment on them. But talking about home grounds or away games, Newcastle is very tough. Injury ravaged squad. I think they had 3 goalkeepers and a few under 21s on the bench. That Miley starting in. They
all came on, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a few come on. That 17-year-old Miley only signed his first professional contract in May of this year. Yeah,
Lewis Miley. Yeah.
So, I mean their squad is totally dismantled because of injuries, and they at home it's irrelevant to them. There, it's a incredibly hard place to go and play.
Well, moving on to a place that we thought was going to be an incredibly hard place to play, Goodison Park.
Yes, I really thought, and I think everyone thought, the atmosphere will be up and they'll be doing all this, and it'll have a good effect on them. But how wrong were we? So shall we start with a quick little run through the game and then go on to points? Go on to points. Yeah.
Right, and like you said, like you saw all the red cards, pink cards of their Premier League banner, they're up. It looked like this looked good, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and everyone had it on. There was
Yeah, they
a
were
banner
going-
of Sean Dyche.
Yeah, Everton were preparing for that game. They had a march to the ground in protest. They had, like you said, all the banners and little leaflet things, and it was hostile atmosphere. It was meant to be, and then Garnacho happened.
It's such a sucker punch,
Yeah, ridiculous.
and it's one of those ones where, because it's such an unbelievable goal, like if it was a little
Yeah,
scrappy
it's-
tap, it
yeah.
probably wouldn't have home, but you're just
Yeah.
like, wow.
Exactly.
Like, what do you do? Like, you just have to stand there and clap, don't you?
And yeah, it was like you said. Man United would have gone there, gone right. First 10 minutes, keep it tight. 15 minutes, and do this, do that. But like you said, that goal just puts the biggest stops to whatever's going on.
Outrageous.
Yeah, ridiculous. There's no words that can describe it. It's just
Everyone, it's
yeah.
Rashford plays the ball to Dalot. Dallow's cross actually isn't that great because
it's even Lindelof's pass at the start that he pings it out to Rashford out wide is like a great ball from Lindelof, and obviously he slips in Dalot. Dallow's ball is slightly behind the players running in, and Garnacho quickly reads it, makes a step back, and flings his body over there. It's just there's not enough words for it. It's just unbelievable.
My
Unbelievable goal.
first thing was that was better than Rooney's.
Yeah,
I just think it was just
because I was coming
wow.
home. I was coming home from Spurs. So I didn't actually watch it, but we were at Stratford waiting for a train, and a guy had it on his phone, and the commentators Gary Neville and Pete Drury were going mad, and you see it, and it's just obviously I didn't see it live, but it has to be one of the
sensational goal.
like obviously the best goal of the season, probably one of the best goals in Premier League history. It was just ridiculous.
Easily one. It'll be one of them ones on the old. Well, they don't do them anymore. The old Christmas DVDs.
Yeah. But you look at it because he's fully extended, like his legs fully tense. His right leg is as high as it goes. It's just phenomenal.
Neville said something which I found quite funny, and he was like, "I was a good footballer at a good level for a long, long period of time." He goes, "Physically though, that is something I would never ever be able to do."
Yeah, and he's right. And even now, a lot of those players probably wouldn't be able to do it, and that's absolutely fine because like Neville said, it was gymnastics. It's not football. It's gymnastics. It's acrobatics. Like it was, and like you said, that just silenced the whole crowd. And
I mean, they had the little 10 minutes for 10 points. They had a big old booing thing or whatever they were chanting.
Boo!
Goodison love a boo. They love a
I don't
boo.
know if anyone's seen it, but I'm sure Tate has. The tweet basically says that. It says Goodison are iconic for the boo.
I love a boo. And then fireworks like the whole first half, just non-stop outside the ground. And they actually said, at half-time it was fireworks on and off the pitch. Obviously, their goal was just an absolute joke.
Yeah.
And then Neville said something quite true actually as well. Would have a thing. I think the bloke's 19 in that show.
Yeah, he is.
He'll never ever score a goal better than that.
No.
Is that he's already reached the pinnacle of his career in
Yeah.
terms of like a goal he's going to score.
Yeah.
Maybe he might score in a World Cup final or something, but actual the
yeah,
quality of goal.
No way. You cannot unless he does that again. Yeah, I think the Giroud like scorpion kick is up there as well. That's a separate skill.
Different, like it's,
Yeah, but that's a separate skill. That's like no one's ever replicated that, and the overhead kick to that extent is something that probably would never be done again.
No, you obviously got the ones like the Bale one.
Yeah,
obviously that was Champions League, but I don't think Rooney's. I've seen around. Carroll did one, didn't he?
Carroll's done one. Benteke did one at Old Trafford. There's been some brilliant overhead kicks, but that was.
It just looked different, didn't it? It looked like you said, he was fully extended, like.
Yeah, it's almost laughable. Like, it's actually so good. It's such a good goal.
But saying that was Man United's only shot on target the whole of the first half because Everton battered them.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it, but I mean, I saw the highlights or whatever, and people saying
but they're crap.
A lot of they messed up a lot of chances, didn't they, throughout the whole game, really.
They had a load of cutbacks to Calvert-Lewin missed a chance, Decore missed a chance, Gay missed a chance. I think Tarkos missed a header. They're just crap, mate.
Yeah, they're not great.
They do huff and puff a lot, but of no substance. And if you can't give... Onana made a few good saves, and I actually thought he played probably his best game for United. In the Premier League, that is. But he was just... You thought if they don't go into half-time 1-1, they're not getting this back. And it going into the second half, and was it about 10 minutes in, Martial went through, clipped. How the ref gave that as a dive to start with is...
Yeah.
It shows the standard. He was right in front of it. And they looked at it VAR, and everyone knew he was going to be. It's going to reverse his decision.
You can see it from Young's reaction though. Like when it happened, he threw his hands up. Oh no, I didn't do it. Like the classic. You know that's when.
Yeah, even when the penalty got given, Young was going mad. I didn't touch him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, again the refs just rubbish. But
and then Captain Bruno gave it to Rashford. Rashford. Have you seen these things about Rashford and his girlfriend?
No, not.
So he's been apparently all of Rashford's purple patches have been when he's had his girlfriend, and then he's dumped her and got back again. And apparently he broke up with her at the end of last season. So and he was spotted in midweek having dinner with his girlfriend. So everyone was like, Rashford's going to score. Rashi's going to score. And he obviously been given the penalty. I hate when players do this. Just got a good penalty, smashed the top corner, and then just stood there, didn't he? Didn't celebrate. The players were like trying to force him to celebrate, and he just didn't want to celebrate. Rubbish. He did a little jump, too cool for that. Yeah, because he knows he's been crap.
Yeah. No,
just go get a knee slide, and you can.
Yeah, the away fan, it's a good little section there. Everton just ran towards him. Yeah, perfect.
And that was it done.
Yeah, it was done, wasn't it? And to be honest, even now we're talking about all I can think about is the first goal. So I don't know how Everton carried on, but. Yeah,
and the atmosphere then was even more subdued because you knew your final losing battle. Everton don't score goals, let alone needing to get 2 to get a point.
Yeah.
And then Bruno Fernandes slipped through Martial, who's got a very good record against Everton. I think like nine goals, something like
that. Yeah, he scored the most against him.
Pickford came out, see you later, little dink, 3-0, all she wrote.
It was done. Finished.
5 wins out of 6.
5 from 6
for Man United. Only 6 points off top.
Yeah, well, I think similar to... I don't say about the timing and fixtures, but 5 wins from 6, and they're looking very good. But then the next few are much harder games.
I think now it's going to be squeaky bum time for Ten Hag.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Do you really think?
I said to Ben, mate Ben, who's a big Man United fan, I said your next 3 games you've got Fulham, Luton, and Everton. You need 9 out of 9. Considering the run they were just on, they got whacked at City. You need 9 out of 9. Because they're going Galatasaray away on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Galatasaray are the second in that group, I think.
Yeah, I think United at the bottom, aren't they?
Yeah. If United don't win that, they're out.
Yeah, I think they'll go out of the Champions League.
They're out. So they'll be out the Champions League, and then they've got Newcastle away, and you've seen what Newcastle like. I know they're at home. I know they've got a few injuries, but they're at home. Their home record is a joke. Man United haven't played well against any good side this season so far. You saw the performance they put in at your place was just pathetic.
Yeah.
And they've got injuries themselves as well. So I think Newcastle, you never know, it's a tough place to go. And then they've got
Villa, I think.
They've got Liverpool.
Yeah. No, they've got hard fixtures.
West Ham away. And then they've got Bayern at home. If they're already out the Champions League, that's going to be a bad atmosphere. Although Bayern are already through as winners, so they've got 2 dead rubbers. Which might even help when I think Bayern have still got to play, obviously, 2 other games. They'll help the other 2 games if they're going to rest players. I just think now it's going to be a difficult run into Christmas and New Year for Ten Hag. Because he's had not an easy run the last 3 games, but if you're struggling for form and someone offered you on a plate, Fulham, who are disaster, like they can't score goals for nothing. And that was a 90th minute winner. 1-0 at home to Luton. Not exactly convincing.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And then Everton.
True. Yeah.
They're 3 nice games to get a little points under. And before that was McTominay in the 95th and 96th minute against Brentford, and then the other game was Sheffield United. I mean, if you can't beat Sheffield United, you need to go. You need to go down.
Yeah. Mention Sheffield United and Burnley later on.
But right, shall we move on to the 10-point deduction?
Yes, we obviously
had Andy last week on the show.
The podcast and that,
and we haven't really touched on it. But everyone should know, and everyone probably has heard, that Everton have been deducted 10 points for a breach of profit and sustainability rules ahead of their Premier League clash against Man United in the international break. And it's the largest points deduction in Premier League history, I think, for that case.
There's the word disproportionate has been thrown around a lot, and it's probably correct. I don't know. Do you have any sympathy for them for it, or?
So there's a lot to digest and take in on this. Obviously, the easy throwaway comment people have been saying is, if they've got 10 points, then Chelsea and City are going to be in League One and relegate.
Yeah, it's a total different case for them.
Them 2 clubs aren't charged with the same breach that Everton did. They got different charges. Everton Basically, in the simplest terms, each club is allowed to lose a maximum of £105 million over the period of time, and Everton lost over the 2021-22 season, ended up losing £124.5 million.
Yeah.
They were working with the Premier League with it to try and get it resolved, and the Premier League apparently were in contact with them saying, like, you're getting close, like, top buying players and things like that.
Because that's the thing. Everton were open, and they basically went to the Premier League and said, right, this is happening. What can we do about it? And that's probably where they're a bit disgruntled in that they were open, and they said, right, we need help. We need to try and get through this, and they've been slapped with a 10-point. And
Everton have pointed to the COVID pandemic for part of the reason they've lost money, because that did dissipate the transfer market. Players stopped moving, and deals did dry up. Clubs weren't getting any money in from ticket sales, so they could spend less. And
the thing is, because FFP is based on revenues, and then that is linked to the profit and sustainability of the club, and that's current within the Premier League. For whatever reason, it's currently looked at a 3-year cycle. But to improve your revenue, a very effective and simple way is to invest larger amounts of money within a club or business, whatever you're doing. So for example, Everton, their stadium costs around 500 million, but the benefits of that will not be immediate. That's a long-term benefit as such, and investing in such a large amount of sum in the stadium. But so they've spent over 500 million, but their club's a mess anyway, with players going in and out. They're selling players what they think for cheap. Their wages are probably high. They for example, Dele Alli's a prime example, just a horrible bit of business.
And they're not playing him, are they? Because they don't want to pay Spurs like £10 million.
They haven't got the money, and their complaint about the Richarlison, Spurs didn't pay us enough money. That's tough. That's the way. That's business. That's football. Like 60 million, he's not worth 6 million. So that is a load of rubbish. But
they've also pointed that to a legal issue of player X. And so they've put, and they said we were hoping to sell player X for a certain amount of money, but ended up having to release him for free. I can only guess that player X is Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
Who probably was worth, I don't know, 10. They bought him for a hell of a lot. Bought him for far much more than he was worth, but they could have sold him. There was a value in there because he was a decent player at the time. But obviously he had issues off the pitch, meaning they had to release him, get him out the back door, and no one's heard of him since. But but Everton have just made, and we've said time and time again, awful decisions. They sold Luca Digne in January sometime under Rafa, because he fell out of Rafa. Sold him for a good amount of money, and then went and bought Patson and what's his name, Milenko, who were two like budget fullbacks.
And they shifted out players, but then they've replaced them. You shift out players for a reason, to make money, but so don't go and you can't spend that money. You have to operate within your means, and they haven't been doing that.
They signed that centre mid from some French team. He played like 2 games for him for their record fee. I want to say his name's like double barrel name, like Garman, something like that.
Right.
I think it was from Cameroon.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he just didn't hardly ever
played
play.
Like 12 minutes. Yeah. They just make shocking decisions, and like I said, I bet you they pay these players a good whack.
Yeah, it's Everton as well. It's not. It's
Michael
not like a
Keane,
Luton coming
million.
up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I just think that the 3-year cycle they look at is, I do think they could change the rules in terms of the FFP and what they're looking at, and they should almost look at real time profits, loss, and all the rest of it, and what's happening now. Because like I said, Everton invested in the stadium. They're trying to invest in the squad. They're trying to, because they want to make the revenue, but they can't make the revenue without investing in the club, and that's why they're building a stadium. I just think maybe whether it's the Premier League or whoever else, the board, the executives above it all that operate it all, and then look at all the rules and who's doing what and who's doing this, and I just think that they could change the rules, and that's a much larger conversation. It involves different accounting, different analysis, different projections of money, and all the rest of it. But I just feel like it's almost like the top 6. They're in control because they're already in a good state. That's Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, United, whoever, Liverpool. They are worldwide enormous clubs. They'll always have the money. But a Luton coming up, Everton, the mess they've been in. It's almost impossible.
You need to be like football now is so much about what happens off the field. More
Yeah.
probably, you have to have your slick accountants, slick lawyers that can get around these issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a little bit of sympathy where obviously it's only 20 million over, but you broke the rules. Whether you're
that is the
whether
bottom line.
you're £1 million over or you've broke the rules. If you have a budget of £100 million and you spend £102 million, like
you're £2 million.
You just don't have
wrong.
money. Like
Yeah.
you are breaking
I agree.
the rules.
I do think they should have been punished, and rightly so.
But I do think because the deduction that was handed down from the independent commission was the largest in Premier League history, and it's obviously put them into the relegation zone. And because in Portsmouth had previously the last club to get to points deduction, they got 9 for going into admin. And I think
that's why they keep running around disproportionate. It's not. Yeah, it doesn't correlate between what's going on.
I do think because they're going to appeal. I think they've got till Thursday to appeal. I think they'll come to a decision because originally it was going to be 12, wasn't it? And they gave it to 10. I think it was 12. I think, buddy, that's a bit hard. I think they'll end up on maybe 5.
Yeah,
I think it'll be reduced.
It's to do with the. And this is another point. Obviously, I've done research and looked at it. It's actually quite interesting because it's not just like. Because I wanted to know about it and understand what's going on because it's very confusing. And if I know we do this and it's a good old chat, but if you're down the pub or at work with your mates and they go, oh, well, like you said, City 115 charge, they're going to get relegated to the National League. Well, no, it's not. It's not how it works. But the Premier League, for whatever reason, they're the people that bring the charges, and they looked at it with the EFL ruling and the commission. The rules that they do, the independent commission, is that they deduct initially 6 points for the breach of the rule, which is whatever, and then every 5 million that's over, it's a 1 point deduction every 5 million. But that's it. That's a problem itself. Why are the Premier League looking at EFL rules and all the rest? Surely they're Premier League. They're a big company, a big corporation. They should have rules and regulations in place for Premier League football clubs. Not they shouldn't be looking to the lower leagues and they're doing this. Let's try this on Everton. Like it just seems all a bit off. It seems a bit wrong.
One thing I will touch on though, like. I do think the Premier League making Everton an example, but they've gone at Everton full well knowing that they're an easier target than taking
100%, yeah.
Man City or Chelsea to court.
And that is why
because they're petrified of them two.
Yeah, and
the two biggest boys in the Premier League in terms of finance and financial weight, they can throw their muscle around. The Premier League can't match Man City for lawyers.
No.
Look at UEFA. Yeah. Remember UEFA? They put a transfer ban in for 2 years, ban them from the Champions League for 2.5 years, and then City's lawyers went in there, appealed it, and got away with scotch free.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about City and that comment of they got all these charges against them. Well, it's like you said, it's not that simple. City of the Premier League are trying to collate all the evidence. They're trying to make it solid proof that City or Chelsea, whoever, are doing this wrong, and they know that they're up against, like you said, arguably the richest club in the world and all the money that is at their fingertips. So, the Man City are an absolute juggernaut compared to the Premier League, and the financial presence that Man City have is far and beyond what the Premier League can even offer. So they have to collate all this evidence to make sure it's bulletproof. And this is what we got. What can we do?
Just a quick one before we move on. Any weight in the Jermaine Defoe case?
Well, all I say is shock Harry Redknapp's involved. Like they should just arrest the Redknapp family. They are a basket case. But I mean, if that's what's happening, they've got to be looking at every single club and everything Harry Redknapp's ever done has got to be done. But
just one last one I wanted to get your opinion on. So obviously the breach happened in 2021-22. They've obviously got the 10-point deduction this season. I think we've both openly said I think Everton will be okay because even with the 10-point deduction because there are 4 worse teams than them. But do you have a little bit of sympathy for the clubs that have been relegated in that year? Because if Everton have had the 10 points last year, they would have gone down. The year before, they would have gone down. And
it's
the goal that kept them up last season was assisted by Anana Gay and scored by Decore, who are both players they've purchased in that 3-year period.
Yeah, wouldn't. And where did Corey come from? Was it Watford?
Watford, yeah.
A relegated club and in that period as well. But it's... Yeah, I mean, I'd feel, aggrieved if you're one of those clubs like, I think it was Burnley at the time, Watford and Leeds and Leicester and whoever else. And they're clubs that, according to the rules, have been playing by the rule book, but Everton haven't and are still in the league. So, yeah, so nothing will happen. Nothing's going to happen to those clubs. It really, and they're yeah, it's almost like I don't know. It's obviously not my team. It doesn't involve my club, but yes, you will be very, very, very frustrated.
They may get an additional fine. I think I can't remember. I can't be completely 100%. Didn't West Ham get a fine, like a later on fine, after they got found guilty of doing dodgy deals with Tevez and Mascherano?
Not sure.
It was some sort of legal court issue for years, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm not
between
sure.
them two clubs. Right. Shall we move on to the team of the week or prediction, or which one start with?
Let's do prediction.
So your go.
I think so. Yeah. Was it Andy that?
Andy went last year. Last week.
Mm.
We all predicted the win, but they only won 1-0. See, like that 15-year-old made his debut.
Yeah, for Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed when he turns 16. He can sign a professional contract. It's pretty mad.
He was 12 at the beginning of the pandemic.
Bloody hell, that's awful. Yeah, 15. That's mental.
Yeah, 2002. He was born in 2008, I think, something like that. Which is just absolutely nuts.
Gone on La Liga, top of the table clash at the weekend. Madrid at home to. Oh no, not Granados. Girona. Sorry, take it back. Totally ignore that. Let's go. Oh yeah, we'll stick to the Premier League. Burnley, Sheffield United.
6-pointer.
Relegation 6-pointer.
Where's it at Burnley?
It's at Burnley. Yeah.
Can both teams lose?
Yeah. So I saw it. I'll talk about it later. But I saw a tweet that said, "We've got Sheffield United this week. Whoever gets the points, can we just push them for our championship season next year?" Yeah. Yeah. So Burnley, Sheffield United. What do you reckon?
Burnley have lost 6 from 6 at home, haven't they?
Yes, I think they've won once.
Luton.
They won both.
They beat Luton and they got a point. They got a 4 point. They got a point at
Forest. Was that
Forest?
lost?
Yeah. No, they lost that.
I think they both won once, and they Sheffield United.
Yeah, but they got a draw. They're both from 4 points.
Okay.
Who did Burnley draw against?
I'll have a look. Their last 5 is not looking good.
Who did Burnley draw against? Come on, use your brain.
Was it Forest?
No, Forest beat them in the last minute. Chris Wood scored, I think.
Dude, it was Forest away.
Was it?
Yeah, 1-1.
No, was it?
That Wood goal was disallowed.
No, it was Luton. Who did Forest beat in the last minute? Because Griff had him on
it weren't Burnley.
On last man standing. It was a Friday night.
Don't know. Burnley maybe they beat Luton.
Was it Luton?
They beat Luton 2-1.
Yeah.
85th minute. That Larson scored quite a good goal.
Oh, there's one last minute goal I'm thinking of. Right, so Burnley, Sheffield United, Saturday 3 o'clock.
Saturday 3 o'clock.
2-0 Burnley.
Yeah, I want to go 1-0 to Burnley.
1-0 to Burnley.
Yeah.
Home.
Scrappy, horrible game.
1-0, you say?
Yeah, 1-0.
Right. Write that down. Yeah, I'm doing. Those you can't see me, I'm not on camera, but I'm doing my notes off my phone today because the first time my eyes are struggling to have a look at this. Right, team of the week. I'll kick us off and starting goal, and a goalkeeper that we've both given a bit of stick to this season. But like I touched on earlier, I actually think he had his best game for Manchester United, and it was Andre Onana.
Yes.
Made a couple of good saves. Distribution was very good. Clean sheet away at Everton can be a tough place to go, especially considering the atmosphere that we expect it to be. But there's no flapping from him from corners.
I think he's kept 5 clean sheets now as well.
There was no spillages. There was no nothing.
Hmm.
Talking of clean sheets, I still forgot that De Gea still hasn't got a job.
Yeah.
And he got the most clean sheets of the Premier League last season.
Liverpool might be sniffing around him.
But yeah, short-term loan.
Yeah.
Do you want to move into defence?
Yes. I'm going to take Mengi from Luton. I think he scored at the weekend, didn't he? In their 2-1 win, their first win in the Premier League. Yeah, Mengi. I mean, obviously didn't keep a clean sheet, but yeah, goal for Luton at home against Palace. First win, deserves to get in.
And our second defender is Jamal Lascelles. I'm going to touch him a bit more later on, but I thought he had a really good game. He's played great form and scored the goal, captain, first goal in 2 years. And yeah, I'll get on to later why I select him in the team.
I'll take the first midfielder, and that's Alejandro Garnacho.
Enough said.
Yeah, he just. I mean, I don't even care what he did in the game, but that goal alone is unbelievable. So yeah, he slots straight in.
And then we've got a teenage vote between Lewis Miley and how are we pronouncing it? This
His first name's Kobe. I'm going to go with Manu.
yeah, that's the one, Manu.
Manu.
Both started for their respective clubs in central midfield, and both put in really, really good performances.
Yeah.
I think Manu's a little bit older, isn't he?
Yeah,
18?
Manu's 18 and Miley's 17. But yeah, I think Manu.
Yeah.
I think they're. I mean, I don't know anything about Man United's youth, but he got injured pre-season. He was not tipped, but they said we're okay. We don't need to sign anyone. We're going to play Manu. He looks like a good player. All the rest of it, and he got injured, so they bought Amrabat. But yeah, I mean,
Amrabat looks like a clown, doesn't he?
Yeah, as your debut goes in that sort of, again, it's quite a tough atmosphere. Everton away, all the rest of it. 18 years old, and he looked very, very good. But yeah, Miley as well.
Yeah, and up top we've gone with Erling Haaland scoring the goal against Liverpool's 50th Premier League goal in 48 games. I think every time we do one of these, we try not to put him in.
Yeah.
I think we actually consciously try not to put him in because it would just be the same old story, just repeat.
And if he'd have scored and it almost meant nothing, then he probably would have been. But yeah, the fact it was quickest to 50 goals is, yeah, again, you can't really ignore it.
I think he scored a hat-trick the other week and we didn't put him in.
Yeah.
Try someone else.
Yeah, there was some good performances though. Pedro from Brighton scored twice. Tavernier from Bournemouth scored twice. I mean, I think even Semenyo for Bournemouth was very good on the weekend. But yeah, that was our team of the week.
Right, I'll start with winner of the week for me, and I've gone for Jamal Lascelles. I've noticed because he's been playing recently. I don't pay too much attention to Newcastle, but obviously they are littered with injuries, and he's actually the captain. Last season was the first full year of Saudi ownership, and he's been there since 2014, and he has sort of been pushed to the side because you've had Dan Burney who can play there, but the front two are Fabian Schär, their first choice, Fabian Schär and Sven Botman, who have been outstanding. They were outstanding last year, and Schär's continued that good form. Botman's obviously got injured, and Lascelles had to step in. I've never particularly rated him too much. Last season he played 7 Premier League games out of the 38, but apparently behind the scenes he's always been a really good character, and he's still the captain. But this season, since injuries, he's stepped in. He's played 8 games already, playing Champions League football as well, and scoring his first goal for 2 years. Just think he deserves a bit of acknowledgement, really, of how well he's played. And there was quite a funny interview of him after, because he actually got subbed off in the 87th minute of the game for one of the youngsters, I believe. And the interviewer asked, "Oh, are you okay? Are you ready for Tuesday's big game away at what's his name? At PSG?" And he said, "No, I am absolutely fine. One of my boots snapped, and they didn't have a spare boot, so I was wearing a size 9 and a size 11. I felt like I was going to fall over all the time, so I asked the manager to sub me off."
Oh, that's rough.
So, yeah, I've gone for Jamal Lascelles.
Very nice. My win of the week, very simple. Garnacho with the wonder goal. Incredible goal of the season. One of the best goals in the Premier League. Probably spoke about in the history of football as well, in its whole entirety. Ridiculous strike. And
I'm picking up the same vibe that me and you may have the same loser of the week.
Yeah, mine is 2 football clubs.
Mine is a football club and one of their players.
Go on, you go first.
Sheffield United. And the player in particular is Wes Foringham for that awful mistake.
Yeah,
that's shocking.
Shambles.
But you're going to echo what I'm about to say. But especially after the fact that they've actually had a little bit of form going into this game, drawing with Brighton away and beating Wolves, to then come back and lose 3-0 at home to 3-1 at home to Bournemouth. Absolute pathetic. Showing no fight. Got 4 points. Just awful. Just literally absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to say the same words and add Burnley into that.
Yeah, just add Burnley.
But Vincent Kompany hasn't thought the Premier League had been too hard so far.
Yeah, but they've been awful. Yeah, like you said, I've gone Burnley and Sheffield United. Potentially the last time I mentioned them this season. The weekend, like I said earlier, was a set of fixtures. If you looked on paper for all across the games, you're like, they could win or it could be a draw. They could get whatever. They could get a result. And the three promoted sides, those 2 in particular, it was a huge opportunity to get some points, and obviously they didn't. They were just a disgrace, and they lost their games in contrasting fashions. Like Burnley conceding late on 2 late goals, Sheffield United just getting smashed. Luton, the only side that they're not great, but at least they're at home. They're showing a bit of fight, and they're digging in, and they're trying. They're still. I know it's still so early, but you're like, right, they're gonna fight to the very end. Whereas Burnley, Sheffield United, the media, podcasts, us, Sky Sports just shouldn't even mention. They're done. They're absolutely finished. They shouldn't even be on telly. So yeah, Burnley, Sheffield United loser of the week.
And that works quite nicely for the prediction.
Yeah, that's why I picked that game.
Right. Let's end on the teaser.
Oh, sugar.
With Newcastle hosting Manchester United on Saturday night, can you name 6 players to have played for both teams in the Premier League?
Nicky Butt.
Yep.
Andy Cole?
Yes.
Oh, where are these coming from?
You've named the first 2 on my list, so you're looking at a mirror behind me or something.
Yeah. That's 2. That's good. Newcastle and Manchester United. Michael Owen.
Yep.
Oh, I feel like I had one that was more modern, but I've totally lost it. Oh. Is there more than 6? Like,
Oh yeah, there's
probably
12.
Right. Oh, I've lost my train of thought now.
There are 3 players I've got here that played for both clubs, just not in the Premier League. I will accept them if you get them.
If I get them. Nicky Butt, Michael Owen. Who did I say? Nicky Butt, Michael Owen.
Andy Cole.
Yeah, gone blank. Any clues?
Striker, I think attacking. Leeds.
Oh, Alan Smith. Yeah. Yar.
Think of a shit winger.
Overton.
Yep.
Oh, God. It's all coming back.
Premier League winner, just not with Man United. Bit of a bad boy.
I don't know. It's throw me.
Leicester City. Danny Simpson.
Oh, Danny Simpson. Bad voice. That just threw me off. I had all sorts. I had that celebrity Harvey, the rapper or singer. I had Harvey. He played soccer aids.
Giuseppe Rossi. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Keith Gillespie.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Ronnie Johnson. Louis Saha.
Yeah, Saha could have been.
And then the 3 that played for both clubs just outside the Premier League were Liam O'Brien. I don't know who he was. Peter Beardsley apparently played for United, like very briefly.
I did think of Beardsley, but just because that's like an older Newcastle player.
The one I thought you're probably going to say, thinking more recently, was Martin Dubravka, the goalkeeper. He was on loan, weren't he, last year?
For a little bit at United.
Yeah, and he got called back, didn't he? But he only played Carabao Cup games. That's why he was cup tied for the final. But yeah, he was the most recent one.
Very nice.
But obviously didn't play the Premier League for him.
No.
Right. That rounds up another episode.
Yep.
And whilst I'm hoping you all enjoyed it at home, it gets the bit of the show that me and Jack really get nervous about. Those that know, well, Andy would have seen firsthand last week. After we press stop, this is where things get squeaky bum time for us.
Yeah, we try and get down here, not do it quickly, but get a solid hour in. And we thought, all right, we're done, we get home. But
the panic we had last week, my God.
That was the worst it's been as well. Last week was...
We pressure and it just wouldn't save, and then I went to refresh and it had gone.
Yeah,
it just recorded 10 seconds and there was a lot going on in my head.
If there are any apps or things that stream, whatever they're called out there, that they know they're going to work, then let us know.
Yeah, we've heard Audible, is it? The other one I said? Something like that. We use Audacity.
Audacity.
Podcast all we use, but if there's any others, please let us know and we'll give it a go. But no, I really enjoyed that one, so
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
And obviously Premier League is back now. No international breaks till March, which is fantastic. Like I said, just under the hour, and thank you again for listening. Stay loyal.
Stay loyal.